In the first one, we talked about the 3 practical ways you can use AI as a real estate agent. But in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 reasons why you should be using AI as a real estate agent. Before I get into the 3 really practical reasons why you should be using AI, I want to talk to you about why I started. So I've always had a real interest in tech, and the minute something comes out, I always want to play with it, see what it does, and if there's any way for it to advance the work that I do. Whether it was as a independent entrepreneur, business owner that I am, or specifically inside the real estate space, I'm always curious because there's no denying that technology keeps moving us forward. And yes, there are many things that come and go and really add no value, but certainly things like AI and ChatGPT are without question tools and technologies that you need to stay in front of and be paying attention to all the time. And listen, for us real estate agents, it doesn't mean that if you don't apply these AI strategies, if you don't make a concerted effort to pay attention and be on the forefront, it doesn't mean that your business dies tomorrow, right? But it certainly means that you've kind of given up and you don't necessarily want to move with the times. Now, everyone's real estate career is different. Some of us do it at a part-time level, which I never really advocate for, because then how good can you really be? Because I really feel that someone who's really dedicated to their craft is going to do it at a high level, and those that do it at a high level tend to serve their customers at a much higher level. So that's my little rant on that. But could you go through the rest of your career and do the things you've been doing in a very kind of low tech or the way you've been doing it all these years and it still works? Absolutely. Could you have a thriving business without integrating AI into your business? Absolutely, you can. Does it mean necessarily that you're poised or positioned to take advantage of technology that's coming? Probably not. But maybe you only have a handful more years in this industry because you've done it for a long time, or you've got your eyes set on something different. That's a possibility as well. But for anyone that still sees a real future in serving clients in any capacity and running any kind of business, being thoughtful and paying attention to where AI is and how it can integrate into your business today is always a smart move. All right, let's get into reason number 1 as to why you should start using AI in your real estate business. And the first one is to boost your local SEO with hyper-local content. Now, what do I mean by hyper-local content? Even in a low-tech form, I've always advocated as a broker and training agents, I've always advocated the agents that were under my responsibility, if you will, to help them nurture and build their businesses, has always been to create that niche that is you, uniquely you. Who is the customer that you want to serve? What is the price point or area or neighborhood or community or lifestyle that you want to support? That has always been a piece of advice that I've continued to give throughout my career, and I've seen it pay dividends and success in the businesses of the agents I've been able to serve. AI, and specifically ChatGPT, is so great in order to help you create community guides or market updates that you want to get out to your clients in a much faster and a concise way. One of my personal favorites is to bring topical news to the eyes and ears of my audience in a very quick way. So one of my favorite ways of boosting awareness as an agent, and specifically in my local area, is to use trending articles and topics that are happening right now that are relevant to my customer base, so that I can get that to them very quickly. And one of my favorite ways of doing that is taking one of those articles into ChatGPT and ask it to summarize it, to pull out the main points, to help me craft that article into an email newsletter. That it can do in seconds. And once it learns how you speak, and we'll talk about this in later videos where we talk about how to train your ChatGPT, you can train it to sound and speak more like you, right? Because if you use it straight out of the box, it tends to sound kind of generic and not very natural. And so training your AI or training your ChatGPT is definitely something you're going to want to do, because now that we've used AI and ChatGPT for a while, you can kind of tell, at least I can, to my ear, I can tell when something is not human sounding and it's almost too perfect, or just it's machine sounding in the way it delivers it. And so there are certainly some tips that I can share with you about how to make that go away, but more importantly, make it sound more like you. The second reason why you should start using ChatGPT and AI really in general is to convey to your audience that you're on top of things, that you are paying attention to technology and therefore more astute, better positioned, and likely more capable of marketing their property the way we all interact today. Of course, it's going to be hard to tell whether AI had a real role in getting your customer's house sold. But in the eyes of your customer and those you're serving or trying to earn their business, they're going to see you as a forward-thinking person. And that's likely something that is an attractive attribute for when they're considering one agent over another. And I would say that's a positive move in order to build your brand in the eyes of the people you're trying to serve. And the third reason really can be thought of as a double-edged sword. It is speed. And yes, I love speed. I love efficiency more than speed because speed can just get clumsy, but efficiency. And the more you become comfortable with and the more you use AI tools like ChatGPT, the better you are at refining them and using them and making them better. Because out of the box, when you first try to interact with it, unless you are asking very good questions and constantly evolving the line of questions that you're asking it, if you're not doing that, then it's not going to be the greatest tool for you. So this is something that really requires a relationship with it so that you can get better and better as to the questions you ask so you can get the better output and really the output quality that you want, that you're comfortable with putting out into the world. But if we just talk about from a speed perspective, man, is it wonderful. I mean, you can get so much more done. And when I say much more, it's just content. Once you do get really good and proficient at using these tools, the prompts that you create, and that's something we can talk about too as well. I'm sure you've probably heard the word prompt. Prompting is just you asking it questions. And the value and the creativity and the better questions you ask, the better output you're going to get, right? I'm sure you've heard me say that before. And that's really holds true to getting the best you can out of these tools. And so again, that's only going to come from using it more often so that when you get to a point where you can just ask it the question the way it needs to be asked, you get the output you want and you literally can copy and paste. Now, in the beginning, when you're not that proficient at it, I would strongly suggest that you take the copy that it gives you and just kind of paste it somewhere else and just mull it over and refine it and work it into your own words until you get to a point where your AI is very much speaking in your tone, in your style. And that way you now have a piece that you can actually grab and paste it and use it right away. So of course, when you get to a point where your prompting and your line of questioning is really refined, really good, you can go in there and create marketing posts and Facebook posts and Instagram posts that are specific to the platforms that are really dialed in, that you don't really need to do anything with. And so that's why I encourage you to use these tools as often as possible, because not only will they get better, but you're going to get better in terms of how you use them. So those are my 3 reasons as to why you should consider using AI and ChatGPT specifically in real estate. Now, if you haven't checked out our previous video about the 3 practical ways on how to use AI and specifically ChatGPT, make sure to check out that video next, and we'll see you on the next one.